Welcome to the Psychic Today podcast, where we invite one of our trusted psychics to discuss a topic of choice. Enjoy.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Psychic Today. My name is Indigo Crystal, and on this podcast I'm going to be talking to you about the magic of crystal grids. I'm very passionate about crystals because, you know, the clue is in my name, and it is a tool that I love to work with, and crystal grids are something that I've worked with for many years now, and you can use them for so many different aspects in your manifestation work. You can use them for protection and spiritual healing, upliftment, even for love, self-love, and in relationships as well. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that, and also combining in different tools as well. So you can use like oracle cards, and you can use other tools such as putting in manifestations that you want to create, and using for example the sacred geometry grids. So that's something that I like to work with, and everybody does it slightly differently, you know, and I always am an advocate for being customizing whatever you're doing in your intentional workings to you, so it is very personal to you. So first of all, crystal grids. Do you need a lot of crystals? Well, yes and no, but don't need to be very expensive crystals. They don't need to be, you know, it doesn't have to be like the biggest load of crystals in the world. A few tumble stones to start with is brilliant to suffice. I would highly recommend getting like a bag of clear quartz tumble stones, because they are brilliant for amplifying energy. And you can buy those very reasonably. You can go to like a crystal shop, you can go online. I prefer to see crystals in person myself, but I understand that not everybody can, you know, get to a crystal shop. So if you do want to like buy them online, you can do so. I'm just going through my bag of tumble stones. There's a few different stones in there as well, but I'll just kind of like show you what I've got to offer really in terms of the tumble stones. I mean, they are very small, and it's so convenient because you can place a small crystal grid anywhere. And I've done this for protection on windowsills in my home. I have them like placed around me as well. I mean, this is just a small selection, but I'm a bit of a collector for things like this. So I'm not saying it's everybody's cup of tea. You've not got to go out and, you know, completely buy the crystal shop up or anything like that. If you like to have a few larger crystals, then crystal quartz points are very useful on crystal grids. They're great for directing energy as well. And one other one that I would say is an essential is to have a dark coloured crystal. Now, this could be obsidian, it could be jet, it could be, you know, something along those lines. But I've also got some slate here as well, which is very easy to get hold of. And it's not exactly a crystal, it's more like, you know, just a mineral, but it grounds it. It grounds the energy, you know, so it's not kind of like all spinning off out of control. And one that's particularly good for amping up the energy and kind of like really, it's difficult to describe unless you've like placed a crystal grid, is pyrite, because you feel the energy. You can hover your hand over that crystal grid and actually feel the energy. And pyrite, often known as fool's gold, this is quite a big chunk of pyrite, but you can get them in little bottles, tiny little bits of pyrite, and it really does ramp up the energy. So I'd say, you know, principal crystals, I would go with clear quartz, because you can program that to any intention. Have a grounding crystal such as jet or howlite, slate, or even, you know, obsidian, because obsidian is very grounding, lets the light through. Black tourmaline is another one as well. And then just to ramp things up, a little bit of pyrite does wonders. But there are so many different crystals, and I don't want to confuse you with all the different ones, because we would be here all day and we don't have time for that. So we're going to just work with the very basics. And what I like to do, when I'm putting out a crystal grid is I like to work with sacred geometry. And I would say to you, a little bit of your psychic homework, should you want to work with crystal grids, is to look at the different types of sacred geometry grids that are out there. For example, Metatron's cube. Metatron is an archangel that I feel would be great to work with. I've worked with him in my Reiki and spiritual healing, and his cube is fantastic for putting down your crystals and setting your intentions, using it in your healing work and putting those energies out there. Another one that I like to use very frequently, and is probably my favourite sacred geometry, is Vesica Pisces. It's a very simple sacred geometry. It's literally 2 interlocking circles, similar to a Venn diagram. And this one is particularly good for romantic relationships, families, or, you know, we don't talk about fertility, but creating, shall we say. And it's literally just 2 circles that overlap like this, and I tend to put the intentions of what I want to manifest and create in the middle, and then surround the circles with the crystals themselves. Now, the best thing is, you know, you can put down any kind of crystals that you like, that you feel would help that manifestation. For example, if you wanted to create that kind of happy family, that bond, that love within the family, you can put down rose quartz, rhodochrosite as well. And some people, and I think this is absolutely beautiful, incorporate flowers into their grids, and I think that looks absolutely stunning. So you can use the power of the flowers as well if you so wish to do so. That's not something I've done personally yet, because I do like roses. I like pink roses, and I think they would look absolutely fantastic. But it's a case of, you know, am I going to go out and buy those just for the purpose of the grid? Because I do like to keep them for a bit first, and then the energy might not work as well. So I kind of like go with what I feel, and I would interlink some clear quartz with some rose quartz. You know, I'd have that. Probably I would use this point quartz crystal to kind of direct the energy, and then I would have, you know, a grounding crystal, a slate, a black tourmaline at the bottom of the grid. Now what I mean at the bottom, it's be facing you, that's the bottom of the grid. The top of the grid is the furthest point away on that particular, you know, grid that you're working with, and then surrounding it with the crystals. Another thing I love to do is use tea light candles within the crystal grid as well. You can either place one central candle in the middle if you're using a very small grid, or you can ramp it up a little bit, have a few tea lights scattered around. If you're using Metatron's cube, for example, you could go with like a candle at the top and a crystal underneath to direct the energy on that first point of that Metatron's cube, and then have the grounding crystal on the bottom point and another candle. And you have a look at the sacred geometry, you'll see how easy it is. It's almost like it's mapped out for you to place those particular crystals and candles, and it does look really impressive. You can get these sacred geometry drawings very easily online. They're easy to access, and you can print them out as well, so you can literally have it on a piece of paper. If you wanted something a little bit more permanent, you can buy cloths that are pre-printed, or if you wanted to be really creative, you could actually make your own pyrographied board that you can place your crystal grids on. And another one that's very universal, and if you did want to like go into really complex crystal grids and wanted to use the sacred geometry, is the flower of life, because that's got everything encompassed into one sacred geometry. So you can, you know, utilize all the different aspects of different sacred geometry for your crystal grids with that flower of life. And it's not the easiest one to pyrography. Neither is Metatron's cube. They are very complex shapes, and your eyes do go a little bit funny after a while if you are drawing them out, but it's well worth the effort. And, you know, if, like I say, you would prefer to go on to an Etsy store or go online and have something like custom made for you, you can do that there as well. But they are fantastic for working with the crystals because it adds that extra energy and intention. Now, I did briefly mention about using oracle cards as well, or tarot cards. If you want to attract love into your life, for example, there's a brilliant oracle deck, the Energy Oracle, and that is fantastic because it has several different doors as cards. And I'm not saying that you need to go out and get this particular deck, but this is one that I really love working with. And the doors are fantastic for, bringing it into your life, opening up that door towards love, towards spiritual well-being, health and happiness, manifesting more abundance into your life. And that would be the focal point right in the middle of your crystal grid, to have that particular card of what you want to attract. Now, if you don't want to go out and get a deck of any kind, and that's not your kind of thing, but you want to set the intention, you can just as easily write it down onto a piece of paper and slip it underneath the grid as well. So that's another way in which you can work with it, and it just amplifies that intention, that energy, and brings in that attraction there to you. But do be sure that you have got that clear mind, your intentions are clear. It's not like, I think I'd like a little bit more of this in my life, because you're kind of umming and ahhing and going around the subject. Set very clear intentions on what it is that you would like to bring into your world, bring into your life, and have fun with it as well. Start off small. Like I say, tumble stones are absolutely great. They're abundant, they're very reasonably priced as well, and then you can go from there and expand. If you want to collect, you can expand your collection, or you can look at making the grids bigger. And the convenient thing is that you can place them anywhere. As I say, I have mine literally on a windowsill next to me. You don't have to have a great big altar or shrine. I mean, if you want to, you can. And it is always fun to set one up. But overall, make them as portable as possible, because then you can, have them with you. You can pop a grid down when you're out in nature, meditate with a grid with you. You can take those tumble stones, they're so tiny, you can literally just put them in your purse, and take them with you. So I hope that you've enjoyed this little segment about the magic of crystal grids, and I do look forward to doing some more of these podcasts, but also seeing you on the phone line. So if you did want to give me a call, I will be logged in. My PIN number is 6161. And look out for me on the phone lines there. So I hope you found this useful. I'm sending you so much love and light. Thank you for joining us today, and take good care. In Lakesh, namaste, and I'll see you another day in another way. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you're up to date with the psychic world. You can also find us on social media using the handle @PsychicToday.